Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have the final speaker before we end the session with a short break. And this is to the folks that are project management enthusiasts. So we have Ms. Deepa Vijayaraghavan with us. Ms. Deepa is a dynamic leader with over 23 years of experience in technology strategy, agile program management, and organizational transformation. She currently serves as the Director APAC, Asia Pacific to the Office of the CTO at APAC, where she drives innovation, employee engagement, and strategic program execution across the region. Ms. Deepa is a strategic planner, culture champion, and a recognized influencer in the PMO and the tech operations space. Her work spans portfolio management, change leadership, and large transformation efforts. Beyond her corporate role at PayPal, Ms. Deepa is the co-founder of SheBoy, a mission-driven platform dedicated to mentoring and elevating women in their professional journeys. Please a round of applause for that. Through SheBoy, she collaborates with industry experts to design pathways for skill building, mentorship, and career progression, ensuring women are equipped to succeed and thrive in their chosen fields. It is an honor to welcome Ms. Deepa Vijayaraghavan to address the gathering on driving innovation at scale, the transformative powers of project management in building large tech products.
Breaks, so hopefully I keep you engaged. Thank you so much for the invite. I know it's a different gathering for me because usually they call me to talk about women empowerment, career for the students. I enjoy that because I can make an impact for the young generation who are trying to build a career, or the women who are taking a break. And I mean, that's a huge market which is still untapped. You have a lot of opportunity. I can see a lot of you talk about competency. So this is a huge market which you can always try to tap. A lot of women who have been in the industry for 13 to 15 years and take a break and they try to come back. The biggest issue for them is the skill gap. So that's usually my talk. It's very limited. I call for a PMO, but I come with a lot of PMO experience. Thank you for doing that. So two things I want to say. I have a close affinity. The reason I accepted this also, since I am not an engineering student, I'm not from a tier 1 college, I'm not from an IIT, but I'm in a product company. The reason is I did my BCom and then I did my computer course in NIT. I don't know how many of you know NIT. I did it like 25 years back. So, and then landed into an IT career. So that's why I always have a huge respect for training centers. It did make an impact in my career and I see many others having it. So that's one thing. The second thing, I was listening to most of you were talking about marketing sales. Yes, I manage a marketing person. So I have a huge respect for all marketing and sales person because it's definitely a toughest job. And more than that, I think there is one more toughest job in any company. So can you tell me what is it? I think the other role which I hugely respect is the customer service, because salesperson will sell it. The only person who have to answer is all the service team. I think I have huge respect for them, especially when coming from a product company where we rush to deliver a product and somehow the go-to-market will go and launch the product, but after that all the calls lands into support, and most of my program management support is from the operations team. That's why I have a huge respect and I've seen their difficulty. So I think probably I will focus around, since most of you have covered on what is India, how India can scale. I think Mr. Ravi's speech was awesome. I think he gave enough data for you. Where to go, how to address, what is your market potential. Because some of it I had it, I don't think I have to go over it. But let me talk about how the program management space is evolving. Since I come from, I started my career at Scope international Standard Chartered Bank. I started in the engineering space, and then it is the banking industry when I started my career, where a lot of men, right, there's a very small population of women, and a lot of men work after 6 o'clock. Like they'll be working hard from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. And then I was like so much worried that that's not going to work. I had a small baby at home. I thought, okay, this is not going to work. I need to explore a different career because the engineering, that's how I shifted from engineering to program management that time. But today I advise many of the young generation do not shift. Because that time the way a career has been supported by the organization is very different, but now the organization is more open. There is a lot of flexibility, there is a lot of opportunities for people to figure out how to do the work-life balance and etc. But that's how I started my engineering from engineering organization to supporting the technology project, but I still want to stay in technology, but I opted into PMO. So when we all started like a long time back, especially in India, most of the program managers come from the service companies. They would have done deliveries for 13 years, 12 years or 15 years space, and then they move into PMO. That's how the PMO space has been, right? And you have a set of processes, so people you use agile framework or use waterfall methodology. I think a couple of years back, including PayPal, right? Like we started off with the waterfall, and then we moved into an agile, and then from agile, I think we were like using Scrum, different methodology. But the fundamental is, for many companies, like how can you execute fast? How can you reach the market fast? Right? That is the fundamental. So when as a PMO, like we were focusing more around, okay, what is the process, what is the structure, what is the framework, what is the governance model, all of it in we are doing. But now, I think it's not even like an internet boom, or it's like, it all took like cloud, mobile, smartphones. I think it all took long time to reach. But today, I think the change is, you don't know this week what is going to get published. So that is the world we are in, right? It's not like I will use same old methodology, I will use the same old framework, right? That's not going to work. That's how like I'm personally experiencing it, how as being in the industry, how things have been changing for the past 1 year and past 2 years, right? When I compare to 5 years back, 2 years back, and within this year, like 2025 has been super transformational, right? So it's not going to be easy being in a workspace. That's why whatever Ravi sir said makes more sense, because this, see, you can't, like PayPal cannot just replace all 7,000 employees. Okay, I will hire everybody with the AI knowledge, right? Including all the skills, like data scientists or whoever you want to hire. You always have an option, but that's not going to work out. Many companies are here for many years. They have a lot of workforce who have a lot of deep domain knowledge, deep customer experience. They know the product pretty well. So what is their option for them, right? You can replace 10% of the workforce, 15% of the workforce to do research, R&D, or bring in those new skills. But rest of the workforce, they can't be left behind. Right? How do you enable them? So that's where the competency for the current workforce matters most. So this is a huge space. If you are all thinking about where is your customers, this is where your customers are. It's a huge space. From a PMO angle, like the shift, if you look at it, it's more around, it's no more like process, tactical, all of those stuff, right? As a program manager or as a portfolio manager, what is the value? You have to move up. You have to be a value-driven person. Only then you have been considered as one of the person at the table to be part of the program. That's how our PMO is shifting. Like it's not just a governance model anymore. The PMO space itself, like if I am going to have a program manager in my team or for any project, the way they look at it is this person, what value this person brings into the table. So you have project managers, right, who can just do whatever roadmap is given to them. I'm talking about the senior program managers who needs to drive large work. Imagine the organization today, there is a lot of changes happening in AI, there are a lot of changes happening in the customers. They still have to maintain their legacy product. They still have to meet the market needs. You still have to deliver. So everything is changing. So it means that as a program manager, you need to understand what is changing, be keep them like every single role in a company is changing today. It's evolving today. If I am a product owner, I need to be like, how can you be an AI? I know you have, that's a hard word. If you don't say it, you are not in the race, right? So it's like you have to say, how do you think about earlier, if you remember, all the products have been built for web. Nobody was thinking about mobile. Mobile is an afterthought. Now, everything is an app. If you are not in app, you are not in the industry. So that's the change we are talking about. So it's like, if I don't use AI, like you have been, whether the AI is useful, the cost involved, there's a lot of elements involved if you think about AI. It's not that everybody can go and then do AI, right? But at the same time, if you don't know how to use AI in your role or how it's going to impact your role, then you are going to be either become irrelevant and you become the first person, because you know how product company, right? You work for 24 years, tomorrow you get an email, you're fired. That's it, right? That's the organization, right? You can't, there is no like, okay, you have time, you can focus or you can ramp. No. If you are not relevant, if they feel this role or this skill can be replaced, you are on the next team list. Okay? That's how the organization is today. So the PMO focus is evolving, and if you are a program manager, you should definitely know how to using the tool. I think I agree with whatever the research said. Tool is not a big deal, right? It's important that how effectively you can use the tool for your role. What are the things people are doing today? If I'm a program manager, my first job is to see within my role, what are the things is very repetitive, and then automate them. The things AI cannot do, where your creativity matters, where your domain knowledge matters, that's where you have to spend your 80% of your time. Your 20% earlier, it is other way around. Anything boring, they give it to PMO, right? They will not go look at the status report, they will not read email, they will not accept email. Your job as a PMO is to summarize every single thing, pull all the complicated reports. Somewhere I feel they're dependent on so much that, okay, they cannot talk to each other and set up a meeting to bring them together. If you look at it honestly today, 70 to 80% whatever the PMO has been doing can be automated. That's the harsh reality. Everybody, we have to accept it, right? Then, how can you can't like get rid of PMO also. It is needed. So the important part there is the automation part. So if you can focus around enabling the PMO to do their job effectively by using all of this tool, they will be spending a lot of the time in bringing a value-driven person, strategic focus rather than tactical and process. It is no more a unique strength for any PMO. And then the biggest strength PMO brings in today is the collaboration, right? Any kind of, so think about all the organization is going through this very critical phase, right? If you take any companies, everybody are doing some level of transformation. Some changes is happening super fast. So it means your cross-function collaboration and PMO can play a huge role in all of this transformation and change agent. So they become you can kind of shift your focus from program, value-driven, plus how can you bring the organization to be successful in all of this transformation. So that's a huge space for us. And then agility. I think this plays a very important, me being in this role for 24 years closely, in the PMO space, I can confidently say that if you have close to 50 program managers in any organization, there is always the demanded PMO. We call them as a demand program manager, right? Any new project comes, the stakeholder will come and ask, I want this person. So how can you become that this person plays a very important role. The reason they quote them, hey, I want only to work with this person, cloud monetization. I want only this person. I know others will not work out. The reason being the agility, the way they can actually pull the team together. So all of this is a soft skill, right? What we are talking about is a soft skill. It's not just, okay, I can communicate. Yes, definitely communication plays a very important role. But how can you react on a panic situation? Because when you are driving a large program, large change management, many times things will not go as per your plan. Many times things will fail. So there is somebody like this person, especially in the product company, none of the engineers report into you. None of the product people report into you. You don't control their roadmap, you don't control any of it. But you are leading the team without authority. So you are on spot to go and tell any kind of escalation. So that's where the communication plays a very, very critical role, and all of the soft skill is not being trained, right? These are the areas where the PMO is kind of changing, and how can you become a big value partner more than a project manager or a portfolio or a program manager. And how does the next gen PMO, right? How we are in the transit period, I would say. Most of us are in the transition period. Many roles are getting transition, right? Not just PMO, it is product or design, or you name any role in any of the companies, everything is in a transition period today. So this is the best, I would say this is the best fit if you are in a training or a skill building. This is your best time to tap all of this, because everybody are transitioning and everybody wants their roles to be transformed, and they want their workforce to be enabled for the future readiness, right? And the future is not like, oh, it's going to be 5 years, 10 years. The future is now. So the most important thing for any program manager is we always say that don't get stuck, okay, I am playing this role, PMO, no, right? Like your salesperson, PMO is kind of a salesperson in a program, right? Because you need to be demanded always. So how do you make yourself relevant? At the same time, how can you drive? It means sometimes, if you look at PMO, they need to have engineering knowledge, they need to have product knowledge for them to be successful. Otherwise, you are not successful. Otherwise, you will get confused, they will make you go round and round, you will not understand what you are saying. So it's a different combination of the role. So it is always good to have, whatever you are driving, you need to have a knowledge so that you can ask the right question in the day. That's the most important thing, right? You should have an ability to ask the right question. And then, a lot of times, I know most of you might be teaching a lot of this agile framework. I was telling the thing, no, I'm not going to touch upon, because to be honest, all of this framework process, when you get into an actual working, is thrown away, right? It's not that they are going to, okay, let's see, I'm going to do this step and then this step, no, right? But at the same time, I will not say that there is no, you should have some method for madness, right? It's not that without anything you can be successful. There is we call it as some level of discipline. How can you play a role? That's where all of this framework, whatever you are trying to build onto them, is more of having that knowledge, using that knowledge effectively at the right time, at the right place, right? You pick up something from whatever you have learned. So that's why it's more around discipline rather than focusing around framework. And as I said, I drive from PMO, see, one of the main things I have done, part of PayPal is I have done hiring, I have done culture champion. My primary role might be PMO, but I had a chance because India GCC, right? Always you have India leadership team. You get a chance to do multiple different things. That's why I like about India. You will never get this opportunity if you work in a different location, even in same company, right? Even if you are in paper, it's like if you are in one org, you only do that org. But if you are in India, it's a great thing, to be honest. Because I was in India, I had an opportunity to drive Recharge, which is our career return women program. I drive their women ERG group called Unity. I've driven their India hiring at scale. Like after COVID, there was a madness of hiring. So I was able to be part of it. That's where I don't believe that anything you are doing, you should always be relevant. For you to be relevant, it's always good to know what is happening across your space, right? Across your ecosystem, that helps you to be relevant and helps you to build a network. But the most important thing as when you are from a student and when you get into mid-career is your network and how can you build your brand. Both are a very important thing. And the next important thing where many of the program managers fail, right? When you are doing their competency, I think you all are in the marketing, so you definitely know that if you're just going to be an order taker, you're never being successful. You can always be 10+1, or you can be that one unique person, right? That's where the value becomes important. And as I said, it is like you don't have it tomorrow, you have to start today. And the change is something, we can delay it, right? Okay, A will take another 5 years, maybe A will take another 10 years. It's okay, I will slowly get into the race. No, right? It's not like that. If you are not going to be here, you are out. Either you are in or you are out. That is the only thing. There is no mid-level, mid-ground for it. I know I don't have to touch, I think mostly Ravi sir spent a lot of great time, I think he has been talking. See, from an India side of it, from a product company perspective also, we do have a lot of potential. Like, if you look at PayPal, like I joined in 2008. Like I almost completed 18 years in PayPal. So I can see that how we started as an India side, right? And where we are today. Any hackathons, anything we conduct, and now I drive the innovation for the entire technology organization. The interest in the workforce to participate or bring in a lot of new ideas is India. Indian team, always the Indian team, right? The number of nomination or the number of submission is always India. And we all got so much used for all these apps right now, right? Without apps, we cannot survive today. That is how. So I kind of dropped my daughter. My daughter joined in USC LA recently. So I kind of dropped her, and then we are trying to order food. I know most of it, Uber apps, Swiggy, everything from US, we kind of have it. But there, as soon as you order, I think here we get it within 20 minutes, right? 20 minutes, 25 minutes, Instamart is what, 8 minutes, 10 minutes. I was so fed up that in US, like I ordered and I have to wait almost for 1.5 hours because they have a huge struggle of workforce. There is no workforce. If you go to a hotel, here we are treated like a king or a queen, right? When you go to a 5-star hotel, like everything is being taken care. You go to US, nobody is even bothered who you are, right? You go to self-check-in, you find out a way to put your. So that's where I see India as a country. We are like being blessed, actually, honestly, we are blessed with a lot of workforce who enables all of this value chain so quickly that our life has become so easy for us. So I would say, and then with the current government opportunities, the startup. See, the reason I started She-Ball is also one of that reason. During COVID, I was thinking that what can I do? Because it's more about your training, your upskilling, competency. There is a big element which Ravi sir actually said it very beautifully. How can you build that partnership with the corporates and bring in that industry experts to mentor, right? Because that value of mentoring, it's not that I'm going to give like all my 20 years of experience, but just helping people to tell what right steps to take. So that's how I started my She-Ball journey, where I felt the biggest challenge for anybody who's coming to the workforce or in the workforce is that element of helping them and giving them the right set of tools. So that's where mentoring plays a very important role. So I feel like with the current government support and everything, we are, I think, in the best, beautiful spot to do a lot of innovation. I was driving innovation for a technology company in PayPal, so technology org, I think they are super smart than me. I know I'm a PMO person, but we hosted from Microsoft, we called their R&D person to do a show for us or to do a talk for us. So if you think innovation, it's not always about, oh, I will go and kind of find the new shiny super object, right? Innovation is nothing but if you are able to, like if you are doing something which takes 20 seconds today, if you are really able to make that 20 seconds to 2 seconds, that's an innovation. Because always the platform team or any team, if you talk, they'll say, what can I innovate? I'm just doing same old operations, same old processing, settlement. There is no innovation. No. Innovation, if that team cannot innovate, then there is no innovation. So I feel like India as a country, we have the manpower. Look at the customer space we have, right? Everybody has some different need. We cannot satisfy, right? If we host our own event, we know at a family, even if we host like 5 different, within our own family, it's very difficult to agree. It means if you are hosting 100 plus people, I know for sure there is not, you are going to make happy only 50%. So if we cannot build a product, if we cannot innovate, I don't think anyone can do it. So I feel like that's the level, but it's unfortunate that a lot of the focus is around building, what sir is saying, right, Swiggy or some of those companies, but we do have, I know they are trying to use a lot of the workforce innovation, but I feel like we can do a lot of product innovation. You will not believe that any leaders who visit PayPal, right, like from US, if anybody visits, maybe it might be true for any product company, it can be Walmart or it can be Google, Microsoft, any companies. Any leadership comes to India, the amount of energy the India team shows, they can never see that in any of their centers. Because that's the level of passion our organization or anybody in India have. So I feel like tapping this potential, enabling them and meeting their competency plays a huge thing, because many of the time we have been in this conversation of it can be, it's because the biggest challenge is if you have all of the engineers, many of the companies will not have the product managers here. If you do not have a senior product manager, it means that you cannot drive a lot of the roadmap from here. So it means you always become a back-end operation, back office operations, very less opportunity to do customer-related or key projects, right? So that's where most of the companies try to, even if you are working for the same company, it is very important for you to showcase. So that happens not just like the training centers here, a lot of many Indian GCC also, they have to keep justifying that why they are here, what type of skills and values they bring into the table. So it means partnering with the many companies is going to be a huge benefit for this group, because they are continuously trying to upskill the workforces here. So I think most of the points is covered. I'm not going to spend opportunity, but I know you are talking about students. Definitely, there is still an opportunity, because this workforce, you have huge potential. The challenge in students now is, I think they might be studying all of these courses, like even including my own daughter, right? We spend close to what, 14 lakhs, 15 lakhs to put them in all of these colleges. They have zero experience hands-on. I mean, I'm not talking about IITs, right? Like, let's leave tier 1s, even tier 2, where they take such a private engineering institutes where they say we are doing AI, we are doing engineering, they still lack, they don't know. Like, but the only advantage now is they don't have to go, like they have online, like they have YouTube, they have AI and everything. That is another huge space where many companies trying to, because a lot of the people are not very keen to go offline classes. So it is a huge potential for you guys to think about how can you build an online curriculum where there is a combination of you do certain things online, but you do certain things offline. So that level of combination, since we have been working with upskilling our workforces, that is a combination we take, because the moment you say somebody 1 week you have to attend a training, that's it. Right? They will find reasons. Can I actually do next time? Can I be on, I mean, I have some sabbatical coming in. But I'm saying that is the level of people's engagement if you're doing offline. But I see a huge potential of making it online, offline mode, where certain part you do online and certain part you can do offline. But still, with the current support for startup and industry collaboration, many colleges, even everybody are trying to change. So I feel like we still have an opportunity on moving that ahead. How can PMO play a huge role? I feel like now PMO will become like the role I would explain PMO as a COO for any program, right? That is their primary role, Chief Operations Officer. So if they can bring in that energy and element to the table, they become successful. So how can you make them to think like that, right? How can you help them to build that skill for any small projects? So I think that's what I say for anybody who comes and joins. Even if you are doing a simple Excel sheet, right? Your job is to do a data entry. How can you be successful in that? You need to think, you cannot say any job as a small job, right? If you can excel in it, if you can find a way to enter that data in a many different way, or if you do it 100% perfect, then you become an expert, right? How can you continue to learn and become an expert plays a very important role. And bringing the strategy, whoever is going to bring the value to the table, who become a strategic partner for the program team, that's where PMO is going to be. Otherwise, many of them in this field, in the PMO field, will become irrelevant soon, right? That's where it is. And in terms of the next biggest challenge where there's a lot of gaps for PMO today is the governance model has changed. If many of them are going to use AI is not like I can just use it, right? There is regulatory and there is privacy, and many countries like Europe and other places, you cannot just like that use the data the way we have been using in India. There is no way, right? So you are out of the business if you do not follow the regulatory, especially if you are in a fintech industry where your money matters, right? It is not a Facebook, it's not an Insta where you can, even Insta have make payment. But the moment money is involved, the regulator is involved. Like, let's keep that, right? The moment money is there, regulator is there. So it means that as a PMO person, the way we have been thinking about governance needs to be changed. It means you have to enable them to think how does this model works. They need to understand what bias will be there and how can I become compliant. And cyber security, that is a huge space, right? Where there is a lot of opportunity because the hardware and the cyber security is going to be a huge space which should continue to grow. And I don't think we have enough workforce in that space, right? There is a huge opportunity over there. And if I am going to be in PMO, I definitely need to know how to use all of these AI tools to make my job easier. If I am not there, you are not there in the role. And I think the last one is pretty much, it's not just, if I am a PMO, it's not just I'm not only going to manage the program. It's also important they play a little broader role to understand how can I upskill the program team, what are the gaps they have, a lot of those things. So they will play a huge role in transformation. That's where I see the PMO is going to change also. It's not just driving portfolio, program, roadmap. They will also play a huge role to do this transformation for their organization. So I think I covered most of it. The hands-on experience, leadership skills, all of this plays a very, very important role. I think for this group to be relevant, I think you have a lot of potential to tap this mid-career people who don't know what to do, right? Okay, I'm not in an age where they can retire, right? It's not a retirement age, and they cannot compete with the Gen Z where they can just do everything with AI so quickly. So how can you make them relevant to this race is a huge one. Because it becomes so hard for them there is a resistance in them because they have a lot of experience. But there is also willingness for them to invest time because they are not going to leave the job at this time. Like I'm talking about anywhere between 40 to 50, right? That age group who have good network, who have built credibility in the organization, who have a brand, but they are in this space where either they need to go, how can you make them relevant to the industry will be a huge potential. So I'll just end with this one. I think being a PMO, I'm very passionate because the PMO is the only thing helped me to do multiple different things, to be honest. That structure, that framework, that discipline has helped me to run a lot of variety of things in my career. So that's where it's not about what are you delivering, right? It's always about every single time if I'm going to assign somebody in my team, every single time, I know this person works really hard, but I can't say this person works really hard. The stakeholder has to say that this person is awesome. So you don't know what does that awesome looks like, but how can you make that person to say awesome? That's the PMO. It's a very tricky job. It's not a pretty straightforward job, but I would say it's something very close to my heart. So with that, I will end and I can take any questions.
I mean, this is more from your experience working in data. It's something that we talk about, right? Often we find the biggest products are scaled and built by companies outside of India. I always had this question in mind, right? I'll give you an example of Google Constraint. I have people who I know in work. All of their testing, the beta testing and testing of the products happen in India first. Okay? Because the kind of diversity that we have in this country, the kind of madness that we have in this country is phenomenal. We had somebody from Tesla yesterday talk about they're training their AI models to spot animals in India, right? But why is it that as a country we're not able to scale an Indian technology?
So I think, from my perspective, a lot of times I feel like that risk taking, even though I feel as coming from this place, the kind of challenges we all faced from our childhood till now is all like, I think, I don't know, like we cannot think bigger. Like this conversation every single time we have it in our own organization also, right? Like sometimes the nature of us is asking permission. I don't know, maybe this is something we have been inbuilt in our value system or whatever it is. We always think we need to get permission to do something. I see that a lot of people we don't go with the attitude of, okay, I will do it, I will apologize later. Right? This is a mistake. I can always say I learned something from it. So I see there's a huge difference, and also as an organization, right, there is always the feel of, if, like you said, a lot of this, including like many companies, many of the products will be tested here, everything, even design, or some of them might be Indian from there. But here they don't, I feel that risk taking is limited, and then we always have a rush of like maybe going into the revenue and all of those type of things. We don't spend enough time on the R&D. That's why I said like investing that R&D plays a very, very important role. Many companies, like some companies who consciously do an R&D but not really come to spend. You can be either do a catch-up mode. We always try to do a catch-up mode, or you can be that person who can be. That's where I see that the customers, the way we have, and then the problems we have, the difficulties we face, I don't think anyone else can innovate more than us. But I feel like there is an internal artificial wall which we set, right, and which we never try to break it. We think somebody has to come and give permission to break it. That's where I see such a I think you specifically asked why there aren't new products in the market, why they're not scaling. So let me explain something. If today, as an entrepreneur, I don't know how many of us know about it, there are 100 unicorn systems or countries or innovators, so excuse me, just Google it. 100 innovative countries who have sold their businesses and their products to countries across the world for billions of dollars. You don't hear about it. It's not in common times. At 100 in 2025 today, at least 8 I'm from Macedon, so I also see people touch on it's happening. It's not true. There are chips and technologies that are in products. We have products. The only thing that is famous in India system, larger innovation is fact. Okay, you have UPI. You have a system called Agility. It's a Trinity. I'm so sorry for answering this, but Agility is a system because I work with government very closely. I work with industry. I have mastered, so I've seen the kind of products that we have. Agility is a system that's created where we have a banking system, we have the Aadhaar, we have a mobile network directly giving money to an immediate across the world, even in the US, where gold is $1,200 a month, they don't do it. Okay, we've had Chandrayaan 3 going all the way to South Africa. There's a lot of things that India does. Okay, there are pioneers. We work because I know every 100 innovative ecosystems in this country. Not much. Is it Gen Z? Of course, there's a lot of Gen Z because they have the guts. A lot of us at our every technology company in the world has business. Every single person has a sorry, don't mention nothing. And the thing is, somewhere, I'm so sorry, we ourselves now. Okay. Sorry for taking the question. No, I think you're the right person. Definitely have the data. And I think, like she said, there are a lot of things happen.
I think that's the point we've been trying to make since day one. I think yesterday in the chairman's opening remarks, it's almost like we get this perception of Indians have to go abroad to become successful startup. What we really want to do is create a compelling future here and also create the awareness that things are possible from India, because the same products are being developed by Indians abroad. We need to start doing it here, create more awareness, scale it. So with that, I'd like to thank you, Ms. Deepa. I'd like to call on stage our chairman, Mr. Alpasati, to participate, Ms. Deepa, and Mr. Sriram, Chief Business Officer. Applause, please. I believe there is a meeting as well of a course, because it is came on stage. Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. So today we are excited to unveil the Synergy Quick Reference Guide on Business Accounting and Taxation program. So this guide gives us a clear snapshot on the competencies the students will gain after learning these applications. So inside the guide, you will find everything right from the practical accounting, and we have many accounting tools and some of the important shortcut keys, which makes the students learn quick, smarter, and more effective. Okay? And for our academic counselors and our Synergy ambassadors, it's a valuable asset to quickly explain the techno-commercial details to aspiring learners. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming the launch of Business Accounting and Taxation Quick Reference Guide. As we have our chairman and we have Ms. Deepa Vijayaraghavan, I would also like to call our Chief Future Officer, Mr. Deepa Vijayaraghavan, on the stage. And may I also call upon Mr. Sahayam Vivek from Tirunelveli Center. And also I would like to call Ms. Jeera Gopi, Head of Synergy Kottayam, to receive the first copies. Let's celebrate this special moment with a big round of applause.